Hey guys, welcome to the stream. This is Rod Arriagada coming to you live from the Hangar Billiards and Sports Lounge. We're here at 121 Scurfield Blvd, and we're here for the Sunday Open 8-Ball Tournament. This is a B-side quarterfinal matchup between Tim Sinclair and Jesse Claeys. They're almost at the end of this match, actually, and I got the scores backwards. It was 3-2, so it's 4 now. It was 3-2 in that match for Jesse Claeys, and he had the shot in the 8-ball for the finish. So he won that match just now at 4-2. And it just missed the end of that rack, man. It looked like maybe Tim was going to get out, so I just kept pushing through. I was going to reset the stream and just wait for that match to finish, but then it looked like, maybe Tim was going to pull through to win this game, and then there was going to be another rack. So I just said, no, I'm going to keep going with the titles and the names of the matches, and I kept everything the same. And then as soon as I start the stream, well, the match is over now. So I guess that's going to take us into the A-side final matchup now. And I believe this is a matchup between Randy Baggett and Sean Monkman. I think that's what it is. Randy. We'll put Randy on the left. Oh, we'll put Sean on the left. And I'm assuming it'll be a 7-6 race if it's Randy and Sean playing. I got to get these guys to come here and get started. They're both kind of sitting over there. I don't think they're playing anything. They're just kind of hanging out. And our tournament director is a little busy at the moment, so nobody's aware that the table's open. And I don't want to be rude and just leave you guys, so I'm going to just wait till these guys get here. In the meantime, I'll just say hello and continue to update the scoreboards and stuff. Or should I just go get them? Not sure what to do. I'm kind of stumped. All right, so welcome everyone. Just caught the end of that match. It's kind of weird, I should have just waited for these guys to stop playing, but a part of me thought that maybe Tim was going to end up winning that last rack, and then we were going to go to one more after that, right? It just looked like the scenario was there because while I was setting up the stream, Jesse was on the 8-ball and he just missed the 8-ball, right? And then the table was there for Tim, so I'm thinking, okay, well now Tim's going to get it, right? So I just kept doing the write-up, and then next thing you know, I start the stream and these guys just finished the match. As soon as I start the stream, Jesse makes the 8-ball in the corner and it's over, and now we got this awkward moment. All right, so I got that set up, and well, I was going to share the stream, but I need to get these guys playing. Oh yeah, never mind, the tournament director is coming back, so they will deal with this matchup. Weird moment, man. Weird moment. I think they're telling them now that they can play their match. See, what they were going to do is they were going to go straight into the A-side final. Yeah, they're coming here now. They were going to go straight into the A-side final, and but then Tim's match with Jesse Claeys' match came up, and then I guess these guys just started playing, right? So then I said, well, I'm going to take a break from the stream anyway, so I took a quick break, and by the time I came back, they were almost done with their match already. And this guy's just leaning on the table here too. I'm not sure why he's not playing today. It's Ron Shusky. I'll bring this back a little bit. Bring in the scene, because these guys aren't playing right now, so we'll just kind of bring in the scene while we're chilling and waiting for these guys to start their match. It's taking so long that it's got me.
I'm going to give it to him, okay?
You and Monkman? What is this? A-side final?
Yeah.
That's A-side final?
Yeah. I'm going to give it to him, okay?
I thought she had told me it was Randy and Sean. So Richard, okay.
No, that one, they played that before A-side final.
Kick his ass, man. Do what you got to do.
You can't miss.
Look, you made us all wait for 5 minutes, so you got to do something now. You got to make up for those 5 minutes, man. Technically, it's my job to make up for it, but I'm going to pass it on to him. as well. It's Richard Urbanek and Sean Monkman playing. They're about to get started here, A-side final. All right, so now we know what's going on. Okay, sorry for the rough start, guys, but it's going to pay out, I'm promising you. This match here is going to be an interesting one. Richard Urbanek, a really good player, has a lot of knowledge, plays English billiards, plays snooker, plays 8-ball, knows the 9-ball game well, too. Not shy to playing on diamond tables. Sean Monkman, he was just in the King of the Hill, the last one, and he had a great showdown with Jason Klatt. I don't know if you guys remember that matchup. But yeah, that was that's going to be a crazy matchup because Sean's a competitive player that's traveled all around, played in big events. He's got lots of experience. He's a tough opponent. Not too aggressive on the table, pretty calm. He's got a good balance, between going for big shots and then playing safe when he's supposed to. And Richard's kind of the same way too. So this could be one of those, run out battles, or it could be one of those grind out matches, where they're grinding out for the win. And now Richard went over there to talk to Randy. They're all the way in the back there. These guys are embarrassing me. I'm sorry. I'm having my moment right now, I didn't even plan this one. Richard came up here to say, well, I'm playing against Sean, but Sean's over. Oh, Sean's eating. Oh, okay. Well, you know what? I guess I'm going to have to stop this stream, come back, and redo the stream. That's all I can do. Hang on a second. Shelly's coming to talk to me. Okay, so I already started the stream. It's been quiet for like 7 minutes already because there's no match. So I'm going to stop this stream, I guess, and restart it again. That's all I can do. Because I don't want to rush them, right, obviously. But I wish I would have known because, then I want to... I started the stream, and Jesse made the last 8-ball, and that was the end of that match. And I was like, so the whole time since then, I've been waiting for these guys, right?
I've been in the office counting money. I just came out, so nobody was really...
Yeah, I'll just stop. You know what? I'll stop the stream and I'll just erase this and start it over on the next one. So, all right. So yeah, sorry guys. I gotta apologize. This was I don't know what this was, but I'm gonna stop the stream. Sean's still eating. They're not quite ready to go. There's a meeting of players here. I have no idea what's going down, but it looks a little illegal. Just kidding. They're talking about cue equipment. This guy's trying to sell cues. But you would think that, right, without knowing what's going on in the background. You got a guy with a cowboy hat with a long beard. You're thinking, what's going on? This table's got a big bag. What are we wheeling and dealing in here? But that's just equipment, man. Anyways, yeah, so I'm going to come back right away. The Sean's still eating. Richard's kind of ready to go. And I feel like, well, Sean's making his way here now. I don't know. Maybe I'll keep it going. It's kind of a weird start to a stream. I think he's going out for a smoke or something. It's kind of a weird start to a stream because usually I start my streams and there's a match going. But Jesse, like I said, he just finished that match, right? So, and then Sean wasn't ready. I thought it was him and Randy, so I was patiently waiting because it looked like Randy was moving around, but it was Richard, and Richard was doing his own thing somewhere else. So Richard's here right now. And if Sean grabs his cues and starts making his way here, I'm just going to keep this stream going, and we'll just have that weird, awkward 10 minutes of whatever that was. Yeah, he's coming here, so we're going to start off right now. All right, welcome to the stream. Whew, how does my day start off like this, man? Like, my stream from earlier was a little rough. Now on this one, I have no idea what this was. This was the first experience. Just a straight up quiet, awkward time. And I wanted to roll out the compilation reels on you guys, but then I'm figuring I'm like that, killing it, right? Just putting it on too much. I don't want to do that to you guys. I will put it on later though, because I promised that I would. But yeah, this is funny. All right, let me get into the stream now that these guys are about to get started. Look, and I got 36 of you guys staying on here because you guys all knew that something was going to happen this time, right? We all have our moments, and unfortunately for me, I share them with you guys all the time. All right. Share this stream now because, we're actually going to have a match. I wish I can go back and edit the last 10 minutes of this somehow, but I won't. Like once people watch this stream later, they're gonna be like, "Oh my God, I just watched 10 minutes of nothing to get started to watch this match." But Richard Bannock promised me he's gonna give me a great match. He said he's gonna light up Sean Monkman, so we'll see. That's a tough thing to do, you know. You can't light up Sean Monkman anytime, man. He's a good player. All right, so let's get in closer here. We're about to get going. Did I program this? Oh, I didn't. All right, so they're flipping the coin. I don't know. Feels like somebody moved my tripod again. I'm going to say somebody, but it's probably me. I'll try to center it somewhat. All right, so here we go. They're going to go into rack number 1, and I think Richard is breaking first. I'm going to go and program this angle because, you know, makes it easier for me to control it. All right, so we're starting on this one. Oh, and I got to put the noise filters on this too. I forgot about that because they got, well, maybe I could just turn down my volume a little bit. They have music playing in the background now, right? So it's going to kick me for copyrights. It's a little bit quieter in here now too, so I think I'm going to try to rearrange my third angle. This is the A-side final, by the way, so I'll make that official on here in a second. There it is. Oh, that's not. Why does it say? Oh, because I didn't update. Yeah, here we go. Ah, I'm just full of errors today, at least for this stream. That's going to mean that we're going to have some crazy matches, man, some crazy shots. And I thought I already had the highlight of the day, but I don't think I did. I think it's coming up. This guy promised me he's going to do something special on this table. I told him already, man. I said, you wasted 5 minutes of our time. You got to make up for that. Gotta check on my side camera. Okay, so that one was moved a little bit too. I'll have to adjust that. I wonder if I can just adjust it from here. I'll try. It's gonna be like a rough adjustment, but whatever. No, wrong way. It's a little better. Makes the camera a little crooked, but whatever. I have to work with what I got. Every weekend that I come into the hangar, it's always a different setup here on these tables, and so it's hard for me to come in and have a consistent setup for the tripods and the angles and all that stuff. I usually gotta do it all myself, which is what we were talking about earlier about doing something permanent. But I'd rather do it myself, like I said, because, you know, it's like eagle eye. I got the vision, you know. I know what I want to see. Crooked angle like this, I don't. And you can't really tell, but I can. You know? Nice shot. Called his way in there, but he got in. Lucky shot, he says, after he makes it. Told you, man, this guy's a little special here. He's got that old school classic style of pool, you know, where you kind of like mingle a little bit while you're playing. Likes to interact with the opponents, but not like in a shark out way, you know. It's I don't know how you would describe it. You'd have to play against him to kind of know what I'm talking about. Got to let the cue ball go into the 4-ball here. It was the best thing he could do for himself to get shape on the 8-ball, not have to force cue ball or anything like that, not to have to put a big draw shot on there. He just played natural angle onto the 4, and he would have a little bit of a back cut like he does here, but it's nothing crazy. It's good thinking, nice planning. Get in there. It's not going to go in, though. So he missed the 8 ball. Unfortunate there, and Sean will have a chance to clean this table out. Take a look at Richard's highlight. I don't remember what kind. Oh, it was a bit of a back cut, this 13 ball. It was a nice cut. He hit that so gently, you know, and he didn't scratch. It was good time shot. Oh yes, and I was gonna share the YouTube link for you guys as well. That's what I was trying to do. Oh no, I almost ended the stream. Richard says, I should never play shape that I can't make. He knows he should have had that one. He's just kidding around. All right, so Sean will take the first game. You know, like I said, it's going to be tough, man, for him to handle Sean. Sean's a good player. It's going to be a real challenge here. And if you give him a chance, like that's the thing about these guys. Once you give them a chance, they usually don't let you back at the table, man. So it's kind of always sitting in the back of your mind when you're playing against players and you're a little bit, you know, thinking about that in the background. Throws you off your game a little bit. It also kind of affects you in another way. It's when you're about to win. So normally they say like you're regularly practicing or shooting against somebody that you normally beat. You get to that 8 ball, you make that 8 ball, you're not worried about it, right? You're not thinking much, you're just making it, you know you're going to win, right? But when you're playing against a player that you know it's a stronger opponent and you're afraid that, you know, that if you give them a turn, they're going to beat you, right? What happens is you get to those points where you can win a game, and instead of just making the shot for the win, you think to yourself, I'm going to win this game, I'm going to be up on them. Like something like that, just a little small thought. And next thing you know, you miss or you got into trouble and your opponent comes up and they beat you, right? So it's almost like you're building the scenario in your own mind just, you know, by acknowledging what's happening at the table. So when you're at the table, you got to stop doing that. You know, I'm getting to a point with this. When you're at the table, you got to just try to be more focused on what you're doing at the table and just keep it at that, right? And if you find yourself thinking about, you know, oh, I'm going to be up on my opponent 1-0 or whatever, something like that, find a way to stand up and reset before you shoot, because I guarantee that most of the times when you take that shot, you're going to miss it. That's something from mentality that you should learn. And it's something you got to teach yourself too, right? Once you learn and understand, and then you just start using it, you know, religiously, so to speak, and before you know it, your game has changed a bit because of that. Would have missed that combo, and Sean will get a turn at this table. I'll come in the stream and join you guys too. I do have to set up that third camera angle because I'm kind of bothered by the way it worked out, and I want it to look nice here on the stream. So, Stephen Valley says we are ready. That was like right at the beginning, that whole awkward 10 minutes. Do you have races backwards? Richard is a 7. Oh, yes, I do. Sorry. Because I had Sean on the right first, and then I moved him to the left. Thank you, Darren. I'm thinking, oh, this is going to be a good shot if this guy has to spot him a game. It's the other way around. Thank you for pointing that out. Rough start. Completely rough start, man. I'm telling you. It's a good thing, though. I promise. By the time this stream is done today, you'll say, wow, I'm glad I watched that. You might even go back and watch it again. I believe we're down to the final 6 players now. Deep in the tournament. Not bad, honestly. I mean, it felt like there was a little bit of delays, but it's kind of moved fast. We're at, what, almost 7 o'clock? And we're down to 6, so might be out of here by 12. No, well, you never know, right? Because sometimes I see that. We'll get down to like 5, 6 people, and I'm thinking, oh, I'm going to be out of here by 10, and then it's like 1 in the morning. I'm still streaming. Much better than what it used to be, though. When I used to stream the Tournament of Champions, you know, sometimes we have those season final tournaments, and they go on to like 4 in the morning, man. And there's challenge matches too that would go on to like 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning. I remember laughing with people all the time because people would say like, man, I'm trying to fall asleep, but I can't because this phone keeps dropping on my face. Like stuff like that, you know? You're passing out. You're trying to like not go to sleep because you want to watch the stream, but you're trying to go to sleep, you know, and then the only way you wake up because, you know, phone drops in your face because you're actually holding it up in your face while you're watching it and you fall asleep, right? I kind of miss those days, though. You know, they were fun, but tiring, man, for sure. That's when me and Handicap used to tag team the streams. We'd get like people from all around the world tuning in at different times, right? So the tournament would go to like 4 in the morning, and you know, like from all different parts of the world, you see like every hour that would go by, somebody come in and be like, "Oh, good morning" from wherever, right? And oh my God, morning! It's like 2 in the morning over here, right? And good afternoon, you say, you know, it's like, oh wow, like everybody's just kind of tuning in from different time zones, man. And we were like late at night, and tough to do commentary when you've been up that late, you know. We get through it somehow, me and Andy. I miss working with that guy. He's been doing his own thing for a while, though, and I get it, you know. Life kind of moves on. You do your own thing. But we had a lot of fun with him. Same with Sean. I love working with Sean. He's been busy, too. I might be looking to fill in some seats here, so if anybody's interested in, you know, participating, you got some talents, you know, and you want to do some positive work, can maybe figure it out. The only requirement you need to have is you need to be passionate, man, and unselfish. If you can do that, we're in. And I mean, it depends, right? I'm not asking you to come over and take over the company, but just come help, join, see where it goes, right? Sometimes people only got time, like, I can only come and help out like for certain events, or, you know, maybe I can only come out and help out once a week or once a month, whatever. That works. Maybe you want to just come in and just talk for, you know, 10 minutes once in a while. That works too. All right, let's get into this game because I kind of want to set up my camera, but I'm going to wait. Maybe I'll have it set up for the next match, or, you know, I'll get into this match a little bit and then I'll go do that. But I haven't really been analyzing or watching this match, and I want to because it's a good match. And Richard promised me a show, so when somebody says they're going to give me a show, you know, I tune in to watch. I like that he spun this in towards that 3-ball to deal with it right away. That's going to solve most of this. He's just going to, well, I think maybe you go forward here. Maybe you can go forward and push this 12-ball a little bit further out of the way to open up that pocket for that 5. It's kind of like a 2-and-1, but I actually like focusing more on the 3 than focusing on the split, because if you try to split this the right way to open up that pocket for that 5, you might just miss that 3-ball. Good players know, though, you just make a small adjustment with your tip and you can make that happen. So he might try. No, he decided just to shoot through. I think he was trying to set up for the 5 to the corner. I don't know if he got it or not. Yeah, maybe I got to set up that third camera. It looks like it's really close if he does have it. I don't think he does. So he'd be looking to make this 4-ball next, maybe. Yeah, because, I mean, technically that 5-ball goes to the top left corner, right? So he doesn't really have to do much with this. Just the 4-ball. Maybe, I guess he was looking at that 6-ball and trying to figure out how he's going to play position from this 4 to the 6 where he wants it so he can get back to that 5 exactly where he wants to be for the finish. It's not bad. It's not bad. He can draw this back a little bit, get into that 10 ball. Oh no, missed the shot. Right tied up to that 6 ball. So he wouldn't have had anything to shoot at next anyway, but nevertheless, he didn't want to miss that shot. All right, so Richard Urbanek will come to the table, and we'll see what he's got. He's nice target to Sean. He's kind of poking at him a little bit, just joking around, right? Kind of reminds me of like Willie Mosconi. He was kind of that kind of guy, you know, yapped a little bit at the table. It's that old school pool, man. I'm telling you, if you look back to like the 70s and 80s, pool players, they were very engaging and it was different, right? Now it's a little bit more civilized. Now people are just kind of quiet, reserved, sitting on their spot, holding their cue, waiting for their shot type thing. But back then, I don't know, man. It was more interactive. He's left them safe, but has he left them safe? That's the question. Can't bank this to the side for sure. If he's got enough to cut it, you can cut it to the corner. But I'm not sure, man. I mean, if you're making this cut to the corner, it's going to be pretty tough to hold or get position for the 8. He's got to more or less play the angles and just hope for the best here if he's going to go for that. Doesn't have enough for a 2-bank attempt either, so the only thing you can really do is just cut this or play a safety. Yeah, he tried to cut it. Comes up a little bit short. A really nice effort, though. He would have had to make somewhat of a similar cut here on this 8 ball, too. That was a nice attempt. All right, so this opens things up a little bit here for Richard. I'm thinking he might just go straight down right now and just try to get that 10 ball next after this 9. If he doesn't like it, he could always go with this side and adjust your angle to get a little bit better, because the cut here on the 9 ball would be a little bit too fast with the cue ball. So you wouldn't be able to control it as good. And now he's kind of gotten out of position here for that 9 ball, so he's got to take that 10, or sorry, that's a 14 that's at the bottom. He's got to take that 10 to the side, and he's got to draw over here for the 14 ball. And that works out a little bit better. It gives him more control with the cue ball anyway. And now I think you go up for that combination next. I think that's what you got to do. Just, you don't want to leave things like that for the end, right? So better just to deal with it right away. Plus you got that 9 ball there for position to follow up with. This is even better. You can just play the combo, draw back, and has the 13 ball, right? It works a little bit better. Doesn't even matter if that 15 ball stays up on the table or goes through. It makes no difference. But if you're going to play like that, then maybe not. He's still going to work out okay with that 15 ball, though. I thought he would just try to draw that back for that 13 ball there. I don't think he even seen that, though. I don't think he consider it. Gonna have to finish off with that 13 ball, I think, and just kind of come across to the middle here off the 15 for the 9. And he wants to get somewhat straight on this one, but he ended up kind of funny. So now he's going to have to take a little walk around to look at his angles and figure out how he can get shape here for that 13 ball. And thinking he might be able to get... Oh, yeah, okay, he's got enough to control it there. Never mind. I thought he might have to go off the couple rails, but he just low-rolled it to the side. He was fine. Thank God I wasn't at that table, because I was about to go around the world. It's going to be scary how my game's going to be on Tuesday when I play League. I tell you, I had no idea what to expect. 8 ball in the corner is good. 2-1. He's on the board. Yeah, honestly, like I might just walk in and off my first shot, do a jump mass. Hey, who knows? And it might not even be something that I did intentionally. It might be a miscue that worked out that way. Last year I didn't play league, so I didn't really train or practice or anything like that. And this year I'm playing league, and I don't know. When I play for a team, I always want to do my best for my team, right? So for me to do that, usually it requires me to go out there and train and play better and practice and become, a more competitive player. So this year I've been trying to do that, but the last little month and a half I haven't really played much. Been nothing but leg injuries and pain, and so it's going to be rough on Tuesday, but I just hope that I can make some shots. That's all I'm really looking for. I started off the year thinking to myself, I want to finish with an 80% win, right? Because I was doing pretty good. I'd had like a 72% win rate with like a 25% of that 72% were first attempts, like runouts or stats, right? So I thought I was playing pretty good. I'm thinking I'm going to finish this year strong. So I started practicing, being more focused. My game was getting better. My focus was getting better, right? And then I got hurt. Now I've been on a break. It's like all that time that you practice. If you take too much time off the table, you have to work all over again on all of it, right? So I might be at that point, but maybe not. There'll just be those key situations that I gotta stay away from. Things that are like crazy shots. You're not practicing, you're not playing much. Don't try them. I know you can make them, but don't try them. That's what I'm gonna tell myself. Makes the combo, 3 balls there, and he's kind of got to go and set up for this 5 ball to try to break out this 4 and 2. Or sorry, the 4 is on the bottom left. That's the 8 ball. Still needs to open that up anyway. That 8 and 2, they need to be opened up. He could be patient here and just come off this cushion to the left side to play shape for the 4, drop back for the 5, give himself a better angle, right? He can do that. He can just play off this 3 to get onto the 5 and take a stab at it. I mean, leaving that 4 ball where it is basically kind of blocking that 11 ball from going in that bottom left corner, forcing his opponent to, maybe have to get into that 9 ball for a breakout, right? So it's kind of like protecting you, but in a smart way, because you can make that shot whenever you need as an escape shot also. And yeah, that's what he played. He played the better shape here from the 5 or from the 3 to the 5 with the angle to get into that 8 ball. He's going to want to just push that 8 ball up as best as he can. Try to set up shape for the 1 ball here and leave the 2 where it is. I thought he would hit this a lot harder, but he hit that pretty good. He's got the right window here for the 1 ball. It's not a bad layout. He just has to figure out the finish, which naturally should be from the 1 to the 7 to the 4, and then the 2. That's the way it should be, but he may not play it that way. Yeah, he may not. So this is going to be a little bit risky now, because he might be thinking about, playing shape from the 2 to the 4 and then back to the 7. That would be the most complicated way to finish this table, with the most opportunity for an error to come up. All right, I like this better. So he's thinking about the 7 ball, and that's okay. Now you just got to be more precise in the 4 ball, which kind of sucks, but it's not a bad thing. He's taking a look to see. I mean, he could make this 4 ball right now. He's got the rails to come around, but that 8 ball kind of provides a blocker, right? So you have to be perfect almost in between that 8 and that 12 that's sitting on the right side middle. And that's a weird target to hit. Now taking the 7 ball, it's kind of weird too, because you can make the 7 ball, you can play the spin to come off to the left side of the table, but if you get a big bounce, you may not get that shot on that 4. But I'd rather play the 7 here than play the 4. I think the shape for the 7 is a little bit tighter and tougher. He's thinking the same. Oh, but he's scratched. Oh, man. Played that almost perfectly. He was about to get out. And then he scratched. This game is cruel, I tell you. It tries to be your friend, and and it reels you in, and then it starts punishing you every chance it gets. But somehow we wake up every day wanting to play more. All right, I'm going back to say hello and check out comments because, I kind of been neglecting you guys now. Oh, yeah, and I got to pin this YouTube link here. So the YouTube link is pinned there, so if you guys want to go over on YouTube, even if you guys don't want to watch, maybe you guys can go over there and just subscribe to my channel. This is a direct link to my channel. You can look me up through my name too, but it might take you a little bit longer to find me. But if you're not watching on YouTube and you have a YouTube account, subscribing to my channel helps a lot. So I wouldn't mind the support anyway. Dixie Pinchback, how you doing? Says, hey Rod, who won the tournament yesterday? Wound up with company. Ended up being split between Andrew Maines and Larry Hunter. They both ended up qualifying for the Tournament of Champions season finals. Came up a little bit short on that balance, but he should be okay. There's no real scratch angle here either, so he just has to make the shot. Three to one. It could have been an even game, but scratch on the side changed that. Sean Strachan, how you doing? Mike Frechette, welcome. Jeff Seifert, welcome to the stream. Jason Jonette, Jorge Martinez, bienvenido, welcome. Mitchell Malcolm, Pool on the Rocks, welcome back. Ashton Binkley, how you doing? Terrence Harper, Jonathan Caskerman, Gary Hawk, welcome to the stream, guys. Comments. Gene Peacock says, hi, watching you on YouTube on my TV. Wow, does it look bad? I know I got some flaws on my graphics. I try to fix it a little bit today, but I'm gonna go. Like I watched some of the live stream yesterday for the first time, and I realized there were some flaws in my presentation. So today I came here, trying to adjust those things and see if it worked out better. So tonight I'm gonna go take a look and see if it looks alright. But
You know what? Against these guys, you can't miss, okay?
well, you can. You just can't scratch.
You know what? What are the chances of it going on the side?
It would have been harder for you to play that 4 and get shape for the 7, so you had to make the 7.
I only have this about this much
Yeah,
room, eh?
yeah.
That was the right shot. Man.
That was the right shot, yeah. You just try to play too perfect, man. That's Richard Urbanek talking to me. Justin Poncho, how you doing? Cloud Miranda, bienvenido, welcome back. Shannon Hand, Drew Badger, welcome guys. Dwight Baker, what's happening, man? Helen Lalashute, welcome. Haven't seen you in a while. Hope you're doing good. Cam Carter, welcome. Same thing. Happy New Year, man. Costa Cruz Sendejas says, where are this tournament at? We're here in Winnipeg, Manitoba. We're in Canada, right? So if you look at the Canadian map, you look at the middle of Canada, right in the middle almost, you're going to see Manitoba, a big province right there with some lakes and stuff. And we're Winnipeg. We're the capital city of Manitoba in the middle of Canada. The location here is called the Hangar Billiards and Sports Lounge. We're in the south end of town. Robert Federnato, welcome back. Trent Russell, how you doing? Craig Murky. Billy Ricker, Sean Quincy, what's up, guys? Thank you, Tanya Hoffman. Answered it was Winnipeg, correct. Robert Griffith, how you doing? Jason Schneiders. Jeffrey Engel says, happy holidays, Mr. Rod. Happy holiday, man. Happy New Year. Calvin Vincent says, play better, Richard Urbanek. Yeah, you can razz him for sure. He's a razzer, right? So you can razz him back. I'm sure he appreciates it. He actually likes that kind of stuff. El Momo Goudreau, what's happening, man? And Abel, Mark Guam, welcome to the stream. I haven't seen you in a while, Mark. How you doing, man? From Guam, good morning. Good morning to you and everyone else from Guam, if there's others tuning in from Guam. Where's everybody else from? You know, I want to kind of know how far our reach is today. Sometimes we got a pretty deep reach, but it all depends on who tunes in, right? Noel Bolio, welcome to the stream. Scott Harper, how you doing? Tanya Hoffman says, I checked the YouTube stream earlier on my tablet and it looked good. Okay, right on. Well, you know, I think my TV is only like 58-inch, right? But I went and watched it on my 58-inch TV last night, and what I noticed, like, it's something specific. I don't think it's every one of the graphics, but I think it's that specific scoreboard that I used last night. It looked a little pixelated, right? So there was a couple of flaws that I seen. So one is my scoreboard. I'm just going to correct it and just let you guys know. Now you guys are all going to look at the stream and be like, oh my God, he's right. It's horrible production. Okay, I'm not going to tell you. No, but really, the main thing that it was a scoreboard. It was bothering me, right? So like I used the blue with gold scoreboard, so where the numbers go was kind of golden, but then I could see the pixelated edges. It wasn't a clean cut edge, so it bothered me, right? And it shouldn't have looked like that, so it really, really bothered me. But, you know, I didn't know, right? And usually, like, when I'm looking on the stream, I can't see that. I can't see those little details, right? To me, it looks like it's perfect quality. But when you go on the phone, it looks like perfect quality, too. But when you go on the big screen TV, and then you can kind of see it, right? The bigger the TV, the more you can notice it kind of thing. But it could have been, you know, I don't know what it was. But all I know is that I tried to make the adjustments. Get on the side, he says, Herbatic. Can only hope and pray, I guess. 4-1, man. 4-1. This is a side final, so whoever wins this match is going to be guaranteed no less than second. But yeah, so that was bothering me. So, and then another thing that was bothering me is that the Q Sports Live logo was kind of cut off at the end, so I didn't like that. Part of my, like, you know, I got my little icon in the corner in the bottom right with my name. You know, you can see the my movement on my voice, right? Part of that, like part of my body was kind of cut off on the stream too, but I didn't really care about that so much, right? I'm not really big on putting myself out there anyway, but the Q Sports Live thing kind of bothered me because, you know, I try to represent them well, so part of their logo was kind of cut off and it bothered me, right? It's supposed to be professional and I felt like it wasn't. So I try to make the adjustments, but I won't know until today when I go back home and check out the stream for myself and see if the adjustments were made correctly or not. Cam Carter says, Happy New Year. See ya next weekend. It's going to be a great tournament, man. Leonard Spice says, this the one at Saint Vital? Yeah, this is the hangar. It's pretty much Saint Vital. It's not really Saint Vital, but it sort of is. It's Route 90 in Scurfield, right? So it's, I would say, like a 50-minute drive through the perimeter, or not the perimeter, but through the Bishop Brandon Way. About a 10-minute drive from here to Saint Vital Mall. It's not that far away, right? But it's a little bit of a drive. I guess some people would consider this area as Saint Vital, though, but I believe they call it like more like Fort Richmond. I don't really know what they call it out here, actually. Speaking bull. Roger Chow, how you doing? Mike Peters, what's happening, man? Me and Mike Peters had a chance to walk around the room when I went out to Saskatoon and got to visit him. Beautiful place, man. You've probably never been to the room. You may not have heard of the room, but if you ever get to the room, you're going to feel special. It's a beautiful place, man. Beautiful snooker tables, some nice 9-footers too, but just the atmosphere, the whole feeling of being there is an incredible experience, man. Something that everyone should experience at least once. At least that's the way I felt when I was there. And we did a nice little walkthrough with an interview, man. He helped me out, gave me some of the history of the place and stuff and the tables, and kind of cool, you know. Mike Peters, you might have potential to work with me someday doing some of this stuff for real, man. If we could just find a way to get paid for it, you know, you're in. You're my man. But you got to go out there and find the history of all these places, though. That's the only thing. You're going to have to earn your keep, you know. John McNutt says from Alabama. I got some family in Alabama, too. It's always scary there when it comes to hurricane season, man. But it's a beautiful place. Aaron Campbell says this one from last night's game. No, this is today's. This is today's. This is not. This is live. Tight spot, but he got out. Good chance to try to get this 8-ball open now. Joe Cave, how you doing? James Wood, watching from North Carolina. Welcome to the stream. Kerry Smith. Jeremy Gonzalez, Port Arthur, Texas here. I love Texas, man. I had people, like family that lived in Dumas, Texas. I don't know if you're familiar with Dumas, Texas. It's a small little town, but I love that place. Amarillo, too. I had a few family in Amarillo. Austin. I like Austin, but I didn't like that sulfur smell every time you come near it, you know. I love Texas. Everything in Texas is cool. It's super hot out there, though. Kathy Sechrist, how you doing? Bruce Jensen says hello from southern Minnesota. How you doing? Are you a Wilds fan? Do we have conflicts when the Wild and the Jets meet? Because I'm not going to say any names, but I got this guy, you know, a viewer that every time the Wild and the Jets play, you know, and the Wild beat my Jets, he kind of lets me know. I take it with, you know, a grain of salt, I guess, but I try not to, you know, swing back. I let the games work for themselves, and usually, I don't know, the Jets usually have Minnesota's number, but lately Minnesota's been dominating the Jets, so. Tanya Hoffman says, watching from Lincoln, Nebraska, USA with Eric Hoffman. Lincoln, Nebraska. Never been anywhere around there. How's you guys' weather seasonally? Is it like summer throughout the whole year, or do you guys get your snow too? I don't think you do, right? I think it's all nice weather out there. I'm kind of dumb when it comes to the geology of the United States and how the weather works. Kelvin Vincent says, like Urbanic says, they don't miss. Yeah, no, they really don't, man. Well, that's the problem about playing against these guys. Is you think that, right? In the back of your mind, you're constantly, you know, aware of the fact that these guys don't really miss, and that the next shot might be your last one, right? And nice try to cut that in the side, but he's gonna miss it. He didn't give him a whole lot to work with, though, so I don't know if he's gonna do much here. He might just try to play a safety shot. And there's not a whole lot of room for safety here because the 5-ball's sitting so close to the side pocket, but maybe trying to take this cue ball off the top rail into that 6-ball might work if he can freeze up to it. He's going to play the shot. I don't see why, though. There's no reward here. Oh, okay. He made it work. All right. I'll leave my words. Somehow it's going to work. But now you'll have to come up with something else. The one good thing about making that 5-ball is one less breakout ball for that 7 and 8. So he's done good there. But as far as the position on the table and the opportunities, they're very limited now. Yeah, time for that safety. Didn't really want to give him much on the 6-ball, but I think he's giving him something. And if not, you know, he could always take that 4-ball to the corner. Not that difficult of a cut either. I think you'd rather take the 6 on the 4-ball, though, if you have the option for the 6. Double checking. A thin cut. Bump into the 3 is going to open up this table a little bit more. Now he's got a couple of breakout possibilities again. Out of all these available shots here, the only one that I would take that doesn't really seem to help me much would be the 1, but I would have to take that 1 ball with a position for a breakout next. Because you want to deal with that breakout as soon as you can. So he's not bad here. So what he's thinking here about is just juicing this back into that 8-ball. Not a bad shot, because as long as he gets back into that position, he'll have the 4-ball, right? Oh, he's not even juicing it. Okay, he's going to play the breakout from here. These guys don't really play those crazy shots like that either, so I would have been surprised if he did that draw. If anything there, he was just, you know, lined up for it, but I don't know if this worked out for him. I mean, I can see it didn't work out for him, but he still has options. Could try to just maybe play a safety here. Maybe just roll up that 3 in a little bit closer to that side pocket. That works too. No real options here for Richard. The only thing you really do is try to play safety, and Sean kind of has the advantage on this table now. Gene says, it looks good now. The entire logo is visible, and you and the voice graph are great too. Okay, right on. So it got fixed. Swift Current, sorry. I know. I said Saskatoon. I thought to myself, it's not Saskatoon, but I didn't correct myself. I'm sorry, Mike. I'm an ass. You can unfriend me on Facebook. Don't do it though, man. Come on, we're going to work together. We're going to do something, man. But yeah, you're right. It was Swift Current. I'm such an ass. White Ridge Lindenwoods, Cam Carter. BJ Fox said should be 7-4 spot here.
Playing safe. Oh, my guys like that.
Okay, I don't want to see. No, the cue ball hit the rail. He said, is it a foul? And then Sean Monkman says, I don't know, ask the cameraman. And then I went to look at the replay on the phone, but yeah, no, he hit the rail with that cue ball, so it was a good safety. What's up, BJ? How you doing? Gene Peacock says, I'm from Macon, Georgia. Is it Macon or Macon, like bacon? Audrey John Nickel, welcome to the stream. That is classified as 4 white, buddy. See, so I'm all over the place. I'm horrible, I'm telling you. It's just a rough day today. I try to sleep, you know. I went to sleep early. I was going to go to sleep super early so I could wake up early and just do all my work in the morning, early in the morning. That was my big plan. But I had a bunch of twisting and turning throughout the night, so eventually I found a way to fall asleep. But before that, I decided to go downstairs and do my work, so I ended up staying up a little bit longer than I wanted. One of these days, I'm going to come in on 8 hours sleep, and you guys are going to see some real good work. It'll be like the only time that I don't, have a rough start, don't stumble on my words, and don't lose track of where I'm going with my conversations. Those will be the good days, I tell you. Enjoy it if it ever happens. You might want to record that moment. Jeremy Gonzalez, how you doing? Says, about an hour east of Houston near Louisiana state line. Nice. Never been to Louisiana either, Lots of places, like my family live all over the states, right? And there was always lots of places I wanted to go to, but I haven't been to any of them yet. It's always been like going to my family, staying around there, and we just make the most out of it there where they live, right? And never really got a chance to travel. Just like Las Vegas. I've never been to Las Vegas yet. 8 balls going in off the break. Boom, boom, boom. Doing fine, says Kathy. Bruce Jensen's not a hockey fan. All right, okay, well, that's good. You're either a hockey fan or a football fan in Minnesota, pretty much, right? Or a baseball fan, too, I guess. Ike Murdoch, how you doing? BJ Fox says the spot is actually 8-4, but 7-4 would be fair. Yeah, they got it 7-6 here. Gene says in the South, we can have all 4 seasons in 1 week. It's crazy. That's crazy, yeah. That's kind of how it is here in Winnipeg sometimes, too, especially when we're getting closer to the winter. We get those crazy weeks. Like 1 week it's all like raining and stuff. Next week it's hot. We got heat wave warning, and then 2 weeks from there it's snowing, right? Like it's kind of weird. It's like that time of the year when you just pack one of each in your car just in case. You got a jacket, umbrella, some ice skates, whatever you need. Maybe a beach towel just in case. Tanya says, oh my God, we have crazy winds, cold winters, and hot summers. We're only about 10 hours south of Winnipeg. Yeah, that's for sure. You know, it's nasty this way. Not a big fan of, you know, the weather here, but I don't know. It's, you get used to it, I guess, you know. It's weird. And we're here in Winnipeg, it feels like we're weird. I don't know. Maybe not everyone's like that, but most of the people I know are kind of like that, where in the summer it's just too hot, so they bitch about how hot it is, and then the winter they talk about how cold it is, and then when it's summer, instead of going out there and enjoying it, they just sit inside the house with the AC on and just bitch about how hot it is again. We never take advantage of our 3 months of summer, man. We never do. It's the only 3 months of good weather we ever get, right? Oh man, he's rolled up to that 15 ball. Rolled up to it in a bad way too, because he can't kick it in any way. He's got a horn right in front of him, and that's it. The only thing he can possibly do is try to do a reverse masse off the side cushion, but it's not really going to work. He's going to have to go off the top cushion for a combo. He's got no choice but to do this, what he just did. All the room in the world. Oh, he hit it. It hit a rail. He got good. He got legit. And look at this leave. Just the perfect little bounce here. Look at that. Wow. PJ Massico, how you doing, man? Welcome to the stream. Stephen Roberts says, "Hi, Rod. What's on the side rail with the 7?" Oh, that must have been a while ago. That was the 8 ball. That was the 8 ball. I know it's weird, right? Like sometimes I can't tell, and I'm wondering if it's me or if it's the camera or if it's the lighting. You know, I don't know. I can't tell. And then when I go watch it on YouTube on the big screen, like I did last night, I can see everything clearly. I'm thinking, wow, like how can I not see this through my stream, right? I usually have to look around my laptop just to kind of take a peek to see with my own eyes what it is, right? And I don't know. It makes me feel like I'm kind of like colorblind or something, but I know I'm not. It just makes me feel like it. John Guffey, how you doing? Gene Peacock says, the 8 and 7 are together on the rail. Thank you, Gene, for answering that for me. BJ Fox says, if it's over 100 Fargo rating points, the fair spot is 8-4. Really? Well, you're more familiar with that Fargo system than I am, and we've been using it here for a little while, but you travel and play, so you understand more about it and how it works. I believe they have like a hot Fargo rating system in there too that some people like to use. It's like a chart, right? And I don't think these guys use it. They just kind of go by standard Fargo rating. Whatever your Fargo rate is, to give you a number to go with it, and that's how they do it. Get in there. Nice shot. Mike Peters laughing at the remove me. Like bacon, so it's Macon. Okay, I gotcha. Joe Valente from the Blue Room. What's up, man? Doing good, says BJ. If it's 107 Fargo points, says BJ, difference between players is 8-4 spot, to be fair. It seems right, you know. Like, I mean, the score is 5-1 right now, so let's say if it was an 8-4 race, this would be about an even race right now where they're at. All right, so, you know, I never really root for anyone on the table. I usually don't, but you got to kind of root for the underdog if the handicap's supposed to be 8-4 and they're playing a 7-6 handicap instead. You know the odds are against him, so. He's been a little bit quiet too, man. He's been a little bit quiet at the table. He started off talking, now he's been a little bit quiet. Not happy about the shape here, but he should be able to make the shot. It's not as bad as it looks. I mean, once you make the shot, you put some bottoms on it, you're going to be okay. You're going to come to that side cushion on the right, and you're going to be fine. You don't have to worry about scratching at all here. Just making the shot. More difficult than you want it to be, though, for sure. Like I said, you'll be fine. A nice shot on the 8 ball. 5-2. All right, so Sean's gone for a quick break, and Ritual will do his thing. I'll I'll continue to catch up. Billy says, Happy New Year, buddy. Who's waiting on the B side? I have no idea, man. I know Junior is still playing, so it might be Junior that's... I think maybe Junior and Jills are playing right now. So the winner of that might be playing the loser of this. We might be into the B side final next, actually. It just might be. It might be that fast of an evening. Because I don't see anybody around right now. There's only Junior, Jills, and these two guys that are playing at the table right now. I'm impressed. I really am. Like, I don't know. It's 7:30. What the hell happened? What happened to the day, man? I mean, 24 players, and it's only been a few hours, and we're almost done. I mean, a lot of that has to do with some big matches, right? These guys are... It's not an easy field today. There's a lot of great players here today, so there's been a lot of runouts, a lot of big wins, you know, big deficits, right? So it's... It could be a combination of all of it. Usually when you get high competition in the building, the matches go faster, right? And the tournament runs a little bit faster, too, because of it. But this is fast. This is very, very fast. Well, he's back, so we're going to continue playing. You may be right. Take that off. Take that off the screen. Calvin Benson said, let's go, Richard. Last game, yes. So Steven. Yeah, I remember you're talking about that 7 and 8. BJ says, Fargo Rating has been doing data for over 10 years and have the charts available so you can just use the fair spot, but yet they don't seem to ever use it. Weird. Why do you think they don't run handicap tournaments on this proven data in over a decade of research, Ryan? Why do you think they don't run handicap tournaments on this proven data in over a decade of research, Rod? You know, I think a lot of it comes down to it's just preferential, right? So trying to create something standardized that, you know, it's creating fairness to a point, but not complete fairness, right? So you want like some directors or organizers will take Fargo, for example, just to have a general idea what caliber player they're dealing with. Then they just generalize them with everyone else. But technically, the real fair way of Fargo rate should be individual according to performance. So meaning that if me and another guy that are technically like 600 levels, right, and we're playing 600 levels, play each other, our data should translate into what the spot would be between him and I, even though we're at the same level. There could be a 1-game difference or a 2-game difference because we may be playing the same level in league or in competition, but technically he's a little bit more skillful than I am, right? His robustness is way bigger than mine, and his Fargo rate is slightly higher than mine, and he's got way more robustness, so you know it's a steady one. Mine's a lower one, right? And I got a high Fargo rate, right? So that's an example, right? So that's where like it works and it doesn't work. But I think it just comes down to the organizer, the tournament directors, the people that organize events, right? How they decide to use the system. And I've gone to Calgary and I've seen that they use like the hot Fargo system, and that basically goes from match to match, right? So the Fargo rate will fluctuate from match to match. And I think that's probably the best way. However, it's more, you got to be a little bit more, I guess, dedicated to the work on figuring that stuff out as you go along. Somebody that's strictly sitting there figuring out what the next races are going to be, right? Or you got to do it yourself, right? But it's just something extra that most of the times people don't really want to deal with extra. They just want to come in, have a good tournament, make it somewhat fair, and have a good win, right? But I think that's really what it is. It just comes down to preference on how people use the system. However, I think if Fargo was to say create something that said, you know, if you're going to use our system, you got to go by this rule. Like you got to use our system this way for tournaments, and people started doing it all over the world. You know, I think it would become common, right? And that would change. But as of right now, I feel like some people use Fargo the right way, some don't, and in a sense, it does create fairness. But at the same time, there's imbalances when there's two people matching up at a table, especially when they're supposed to be kind of the same caliber, but they're slightly different. You know, one's a little bit more skillful than the other, or one's a little bit more accurate than the other, right? I wish they would have something like that on there that showed you like point accuracy, right? So for every rack that you play, you know, how many points you got out of it. That kind of tells me a little bit more about a player, including their Fargo rate. Now, and even then, right? Like, so Fargo can make the Fargo rating even more detailed, right? And make it even more fair if they wanted to. But that means they will have to adjust their software and do something different, to the point that they might even have to create an all brand new software altogether, which is expensive to do, right? So, you know, even they are kind of holding back from their true potential of what kind of fairness Fargo could deliver in pool tournaments around the world. Gonna miss the 2-ball, and not too bad. He's gonna give him a couple of shots though, but he's tied up that 14 ball between the 8 and the 2-ball, so he's got a little bit of a chance. However, that he might be able, you know, Sean might be able to get into that 15 ball and break it out, but it all depends on the angle that he gets on the cue ball here for the 15 ball. He's not going to do that right now. He's going to want to take this 12 ball first, and likely going to want to play shape for that 13 ball to go back up table. Muggs Hool, how you doing? John Dillon, welcome. Benedict McGilvery says, hello from Alberta. See you guys at the Westerns in Edmonton in February. WC VNEA. Enjoying the games here. Yeah, it's going to be fun in the Westerns. I was going to play this year, but I don't think I'm going to play. The way my pains are going, it's kind of limiting to what I can do. I don't know if I can handle a whole tournament, a few days of playing in a tournament. Calvin Vince says, great job, Richard. Let's go. Gord Chris says, hardly anyone uses Fargo rate properly in Winnipeg, it seems. And you're right. And it's not just in Winnipeg, it's in other places too, right? Because Calgary has a mixture of that too, right? So Calgary will have Fargo rated tournaments that are hot Fargo from match to match, and then they'll have the general ones, right? So like it's just straight races with the Fargo rate. I think they just use combination of both, man, and I don't know. I haven't really been too involved with the Fargo rate stuff this year, right? I mean, I help run tournaments here, and I organize my own tournaments, right? But my tournaments are usually not Fargo rate required based, right? So it's not like you need to have a Fargo rate to come in and play. It's basically if you want to play in this tournament, it's even, no handicap, come in and play. But we do report the scores to Fargo rate, so that it does build some sort of data for them, right? But I don't know. We don't definitely. I personally don't use Fargo rate for a fair system because I just believe in open pool, no handicap, right? I grew up in that era, right? When all of us started playing pool when I was younger, it was no handicaps. You played everyone straight. And given that, you know, tournaments were cheaper, because back then you could play in a tournament for $5-10, right? Now you're playing in tournaments like $25 to $35, and that's just here in the city. So back then you would play a lot more, right? But and it was a lot more affordable. I was gonna go somewhere there, but see, I lost my conversation again. I got distracted all the time, man. Chris Fox, how you doing? I'm like a bird, man. You know, chirp chirp, and I lost what I was trying to do. Jenny Baptiste, welcome back. Ryan Solville, how you doing, man? BJ says if it's 25 to 51 Fargo points difference, it's 6 to 5 spot. 52 to 85 difference is 7 to 5 spot. 86 to 106 is a 7 to 4 spot. It's too easy to just run it right. You know, all right, BJ. You know what? I'll tell you what. I'll accept this. I'll accept your point of view. And for you, just for you, man, I'm gonna get involved in Fargo system too. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to learn a little bit more about this rating that you're talking about and how the system works. And I'm gonna start having tournaments like that. All right. I'll start making my tournaments like that, so that way we have, like, you know, match adjustment per match, not general, right? It'll create more fair system, and it'll be worth it in the long run. I believe in what you're saying, man. I understand what you're looking at and your point that you're trying to make, and I believe in it. So I'll do my part. I appreciate you pointing it out, man. 6 to 2, he's on the hill. See, technically, if this was an 8-4 race, then it wouldn't be that big of a deal. It'd just be a race of 2 right now, right? So you're right. I think that according to the Fargo race system, the way that you're talking about, with the point system being separate than what we're doing here, I agree. Right now, I can see what you're talking about. Gorker says, BJ, and too many people bitch about it, as there are people who know how to use the system to their advantage. Too many sandbaggers. Well, and that's the thing. No matter what system you use, there's always going to be sandbaggers and people that try to manipulate the system somehow, right? That's not something new or different. It's always been like that, right? I think that's why I like having the open tournaments with no handicaps, because that's the only way to create, just something straight where there's no sandbagging. There's no advantage. I mean, there is advantage because it just comes down to the better player all the time, but that's the way pool used to be. That's the way pool should have always been, in my opinion. But the handicap, if you're going to create a handicap, it should be a handicap system that's fair to everyone, that allows even the newest kind of player to be able to go into a tournament and have an opportunity to compete. That's the way it should be, because pool should be for everyone. That's the way it started. It shouldn't be broken up the way it is right now with like 580 and under, 650 and under, 400 and under, whatever. Or in our case, we have like Cash Plus and under, Vegas and under, Super Vegas and under, right? Like it's too much separation, man. It should be all coming together. Communities should be a part of each other, and the handicap system should work for the community, which right now none of them have been working. If anything, it's created more separation over time. I'm glad you brought that up, though, man. It's I kind of touched on it a few years ago, and I got shat on for it, and whatever, I let it be. But now that you're talking about it, you kind of reminded me of why I started doing all this stuff with Fargo a couple of years ago. It was for that purpose, right? Stephen Valley says, the better player is always looking for an advantage too. Everybody's always looking for an advantage. If you go straight Fargo, then it's a good toss-up. Yeah, so I think that's the reason why they kind of do it like that too, right? And it's not bad. I mean, some of these races are pretty close, right? But it should be, I don't know. We're going to try BJ, the theory that he's got here, and see if that works, if it makes things a little bit more interesting. So, first one I'll do will be in February, I think, just to try it out. Gene Peacock says, APA has sandbaggers too. Our team ran into that not too long ago. I mean, honestly, it's every league. It's like that. You're always going to find it. If there's a system available for sandbagging, people will try to capitalize on it. It's just the way it is. What happened? I missed what happened there. I gotta go back and see. Oh, he made it. Okay. So 6-3. He says, "Okay, Junior, let's go." I thought maybe, he was like saying, "Okay, I won, so hurry up, get over here so I can beat you too," type thing. But no, it's at 6-3. That's why he kind of started me a little bit on. I was talking and I stopped. I was like, "What happened?" 6-3. So Sean is on the hill, breaking for the match, makes a ball off the break, and he's gonna have an opening shot. A little bit of a puzzle here, somewhat depending if he goes solids or stripes. Trying to think what I would take here. I actually like the stripes. I just don't really like that 10 ball and 9 ball where they're at, but you can maybe get to them. You can maybe open up that bottom right corner too. If you were just to take that 12 off the rail, off the 6, that would do it. So, maybe the stripes may not be that bad. I mean, I don't know. You have the options, right? It'll be up to him. It always comes down to the shooter in the end. For me, it's just an assumption of what I would do as a shooter at the table. I mean, you could open this up with the solids too, because you can make that 1 ball, you can make that 6, open up that 2 ball from there, and then you got the 5, 7. That will set you up for the 3 and 4. So it's not a bad option to go with low ball either. I think it's maybe a little bit less work even. He doesn't want that 6 to go in. As long as that didn't go in, this was going to be okay still. But he's tied up that 2-ball, and that 6-ball went in. And now he's very limited to what he can do here. I don't think he can do anything with a 7. Maybe to the corner. Tough shot with a scratch angle. A combination on the 3-4, which is not going to be really adequate for the situation.
What's the split?
What do you mean? I have no idea. It's all paid. It's all there in the bar.
Oh.
Just ask them. They got it at the bar. The top 4, right? So I'm assuming with that many players, probably like someone like 300 for first.
These guys are hard to beat, you know that, eh?
Yeah.
I'm going to have nothing.
Well, we're just talking about. I'll talk to you after your match. Yeah. Of course, he goes and kicks my tripod. Or Bannock. Now I got to go fix this. I tell you, like every week, man, somehow, some way, people just have to walk into the tripod, man. It's almost like a guarantee. Yeah, I gotta fix my other camera now. Give me a second here. I'll wait till he shoots. Or no, he's shooting against that 3-ball, so he doesn't really have anything anyway. Did I fix that? Well, it's good enough, I guess. It's good enough for now. All right, it's been fixed. Let's see. Where was I going? I was going to read somebody's comment. Okay, so BJ, yeah, you have to ask yourself, would you play Sean for 5,000 with a 7-6 spot, Rod? Of course not. What about 7-5 spot? Probably not. Yeah, so I get that, you know. Like I said, I understand your point of view, BJ. You've always been one of those guys that kind of stood up for that too. Like every time there's a tournament, you're always trying to ask about the handicap and questioning, you know, like about the fairness of it and stuff too. So I know it's something that you're fairly passionate about. So I see your point of view, and you're right. You know, if I was to play Sean for $5,000, I don't think I would play him even or 7-6. You know, I would need a good spot off him. Well, maybe, I don't know. If I had the money to, you know, just gamble, I think I would just play him even myself. But that's just me because, you know, I want to push myself to that point. I don't know about now though, you know. But when I was playing good a couple of years ago, when I was training and practicing, I would have just played him straight up myself. But yeah, you know, right now the way I'm playing, I'd have to take like a 7-3 race or something, 7-3 or 7-2 for $5,000, man. Let me just win the coin flip. I'm good with that. Stephen Valley says the Fargo system is made to give everybody a chance to win. You have some people that practice all the time. You have some people that don't practice. Correct, yeah. And so the Fargo rate kind of shows you that too, right? The way they're developing their game. Good job, Richard, said Vincent. Yeah, we're still watching this game. He's still going. He's still fighting. Stephen Valley says it is harder to sandbag with the Fargo system because if you play in terms that are Fargo rated, your average will go up according to who you play and what you do during the tournament against the people you are playing with an established Fargo or established average. It is a little bit harder. I think that's the reason why a lot of people resisted it at first, is because, you know, it keeps it somewhat fair. Even if you keep the system that these guys are using right now, the way it's playing right now, it still keeps it somewhat fair. But you're right. There should be like adjustments, right? So I'll give you an example. For example, me and Clap played once. I don't know what his Fargo is. Mine back then was like a 5. I think mine was like a 540 or 541 when I played him. And I think he was, I don't remember his Fargo, but I know it's pretty high up there. And we had to go by the system, the Fargo race system, the way it worked, and he was a 7-2. And so I was a 5 as a normal race, so when I played him, we played 7-3 race. And I beat him 3-4. So he didn't feel good about that, right? But to me, I felt like, well, the system works, you know, because I beat a guy that I'm not supposed to beat. but it wasn't quite fair, right? So I think maybe with a hot Fargo rate between him and I, it might have been like a race 7-4. Like that might have been a little bit more fair, right? But then again, if you look at a 540, you're probably going to tell me it's a totally different spot. Tell me what that. Figure that out, BJ. Let me know what it would be. You can even go right now. If me and Jason Clapp played a match based on Fargo rate, what would the race be between him and I? I think I'm a 580 something now. I'm pretty sure I got to 589 last time I checked, but it's been a while since I checked, so it might have dropped or maybe gone up. But tell me what the difference would be, and I'll tell you if that's a fair match or not. Because I played against him, so I know what a fair match would be. In my opinion, I thought a 7-5 race would have been fair between him and I. It would have gone to the hill, if anything. But, I might have been thinking overconfident that day, too, because back then I was kind of already playing a little bit. He just says, let's say someone is a 600 Fargo and someone doesn't have a Fargo. Look at their league stats against a 600 Fargo. If they're comparable, there's a 600 too easy. If someone plays in Vegas Division and plays in Premier, if he outranks any player, and I mean any player in Premier that's ranked Premier, then he or she is considered Premier. It's that simple. Yeah, I guess in our handicap system, I guess that would make sense, right? That's where you kind of see the real sandbaggers, because there's guys that are ranked 3 levels lower and they can play as good as the guys that are at the top. Flaws in the system, man. That's all. Dan Anderson says, I have a 43 Fargo, and in tournaments at the hangar, I've been a 4, 5, and a 6. Crazy. I have no idea because I don't play in regular leagues. You got a 43 Fargo, so you should be within a 4, at the most a 5. They should have never made you a 6. But a 4 seems right. If you're closer to 500, then you would be more of a 5. But 5 and under, you should be about a 4 according to their handicap system here. They kind of use the Fargo rating and the active system, and what I mean by that is they say, okay, so from this one to this one should be racing to this, from this number to this number should be racing to that. That's the way they do it. So, and that's kind of how the active ranking system works. So if you can play this good, you're at this level. If you can play that good, you're at that level, and that's kind of how they do it, right? So I understand sort of what happened here and how it kind of became the way it is, and what you're saying as far as how it should be working instead. Costa Cruz says, looks like a beautiful place. Oh, it really is. This is a really nice location, man. And they're doing more work to this place still, so it's going to look even better and bigger. Trying to convince them to bring some more tables in so we can have bigger tournaments, yeah, but it's a work in progress. B just says that's because you played good and he didn't. Correct. He gave me some chances, and when he gave me those chances, I capitalized, and I did play really good. Like, why? Because I'm playing against a guy that should kick my ass, right? So usually when you're playing against somebody that's going to kick your ass, you play your best. You try your best to play your best, right? And that's what I did. I remember because there was a cut on the 3-ball that I did on him, and it just grossed him out. I made this really gross 3-ball cut. It was the most beautiful cut that I could ever do against anyone, and I did it against him. And I think that was to win too. And he was just like, "Oh wow, you're a 3," he says. Like, yeah, man. Sorry, I can play. But and that's the only time I played him with a handicap. I never played him since. So. But I only did it because, I wanted to see if the Fargo system worked or not, right? If it worked, then I was going to come through and win that match. If it didn't work, then I was going to get beat. Or if it worked, I was going to be close. I was going to lose, but I was going to be on the hill, right? But it wasn't, right? I beat him 3-4. So that's why I say, like, maybe him and I, at that point, the way he was playing that day and the way I was playing that day, would have been a 7-5 race, would have been fair. BJ says it's 8-3. 8-4 is a spot for that 580 Fargo to 735 Fargo-ish. 8-3. Yeah, see, so 7-3. That was like pretty hard for him to beat me. But I mean, he wasn't playing his best that day. So maybe had he played his best, then yeah, it could have been a possibility. Look at this guy. He's making his way back. That a boy, Richard. Keep on fighting, buddy. Keep on fighting, man. 6-4. So technically, on that 8-4 Fargo rate, Richard would have just won. Yeah, so 8-3 I think is too much, you know, because I think 7-3 was too much. 7-4 might have been a little bit more fair. 7-5 on that day would have been fair for sure. 7-4, I think I still would have had the edge on him that day. But 8-3, interesting. And you know, it's weird because I said to myself, like, if I played Jason ever again, I was just playing straight. Because now I want, like, the first time I wanted to see if the Fargo system worked. The second time I play him, I just want to see how good I really am against him, right? So I don't need a spot. I just want to play him man to man and see how we roll. The old school way, right? Bring out your chalk and get ready, brah. We're gonna play. I might just bug Clat to come play against me. We'll have a set. I think I would play him on the 9-footer, though, because I think on the 8-footer, he's just light me up. Although I think he probably light me up more on the 9-footer. But I feel like it will just be a slaughterhouse on the bar box. But I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the bar box will give me the edge. You guys want to see me play Clat? I might just set it up. I don't know. I don't know if Clat's ready for me. I'm kidding. You know, I'm a pool player, so I'm going to talk like that all the time. I'm going to get cocky too, right? But I try to be humble about it. I don't post things, you know. Steven Valley says, yeah, that is true. But also, if you're at 300 and you go to a tournament and you're paying entry fee of $25 to get in, you're wasting your money if you do not have some sort of spot. Yeah, and that's kind of like, you know, so there's another thing. So sometimes people will do, you know, handicap races, but I think what's also maybe fair is to do handicap entries, right? I think that if you want to keep things straight and, you know, whatever, you can balance it out by making the entries lower, right? So you can have somebody that's like a brand new player. Let's say you have a $40 a week tournament, right? So $40 a week tournament, you can have the novice players come in and play for like $10. So they pay for their green fees, you know, if they win the money, good for them. Then you have, like, you know, the next level, let's say, I don't know, 400s. I'm going to try to go by Fargo rates. So you say 400s, 400 will pay like $15, 500 will pay 20, you know, 600 will pay 30, and then 700 will pay 40. And that's a good way to do it, because now you have these lower level players who normally wouldn't play in these tournaments playing in the tournament because it's a little bit more affordable, right? Like, if I get to go play in a tournament and I'm all I'm paying is just green fees for a chance to steal money from these top guys, I'll take a shot, right? That's the way I think of it, especially if it's a 9-ball tournament. I'll take a shot for sure all day long. Oh, and he ends up in a bad spot here for the 8-ball. I'll have to come up with something special on this one. Trying to take a look to see what he's got, but, you know, the lighting is adjusting to his body being there right now. There we go. Do you see the difference as soon as he gets out of the lighting or out of the camera area? So he's in pretty tight. He's calling this bank side. It's there. I mean, he can cross bank this off the 13 ball on the side. It's a big shot. But, I mean, we've seen Junior McLean earlier do the same thing. He was kind of frozen to the 15 ball, and he did a crazy bank side when it was frozen to it. Or bank corner, I mean. That still might be the highlight of the day for me. Oh, what a shot. Oh, my God. What a shot. I mean, you have nothing. You have absolutely nothing. And you're like, you know what? I think it goes. I think if I just hit it, it might go. So what do? You hit it, you make it go. What a shot. Wow, man. And I mean, look at that ball. That ball was flying on that 8-ball. It was going to stop that from happening. And instead, it just went right by. Perfect timing, man. All right, so maybe this is the highlight of the day. I don't know what to say, man. I mean, it could be this one. It could be the other one. Let's take a look at it. This was good. 6-5. I don't know what's going on. Did he not mean that? I don't understand what happened. I got to go back and watch this again. Was it a scratch? It's 6-5. They're still playing. Let's see. Did he scratch? No, maybe he wasn't going there. I have no idea what happened there. But it's 6-5. They're still playing. Makes the ball off the break. I have no idea what happened, man. Did he not mean to make that 8-ball? That's not the highlight of the day, then. Hey, Sean. What happened in the last game? I don't get it. Oh, double tapped? Oh, I see. It was double tap. That's what it was. Okay, I got to go back and look at that. That's what I thought. I thought, what, is he going to 8 now? All right, so we're going to go back. I'm going to take a look at it again. That's not the highlight of the day. That was a foul, but it looks so clean. I got to remember this. So he says he double tapped the cue ball. That's why he gave it up right away. You can't tell. You really can't tell, man. So that was just him being honest. I'm thinking, wow, what a shot, but it was a foul. Damn, that's too bad, man. I gotta make sure I remind myself that this was a foul because I'm gonna go and I'm gonna be like, oh, I gotta put that in the highlight of the year or highlight of the day. But I can't. It wasn't legit. So this got a little bit interesting, you know. I was just talking throughout this whole match, and now we're sitting here at 6-5. It's hill, and at one point it looked like, you know, Richard's going to get slaughtered in this matchup, and here we are, 6-5. Hill, the last rack, and well, Sean's got a chance here. He's going to try to capitalize and close out for sure, but table is challenging him a little bit here too. He's got to be perfect on this setup. If not, he's just got to make this 2 and come back down for the 5 and then just try to get back up for that 6 and 1. That would probably be the best way to finish this. Position here off the 2 ball is going to be important in what happens on the way down. All right, so that didn't really affect anything. It's still going to allow him to be able to get a finish here. Now, the only thing is that he doesn't quite, I don't think he's got the angle to be able to come off the rails to get above this 6 and 1. So that means he has to shape up for the 6 in the top left corner and then try to set up to finish for the 1 after that. Or he can try to draw into them and split them up and see if something resets and gives him an opportunity. All right, so not bad. He still has a shot on the 6 ball. The 1 ball is tied up to that 12, so it doesn't go to the corner. Or sorry, the 15 ball. It doesn't go to the corner. Or does it? No, it doesn't. No, it goes to the bottom right corner, but not to the top right. And he's got a shot here on the 6 ball, you can see. So he's just going to try to draw here and come off the cushion and back up for that 1 ball. This is going to be a really challenging shot. He made it look so easy, man. Perfect tangent line, perfect shape. What a shot. What a shot. But that was a challenging shot. I mean, to make it all work, you need to have the perfect stroke and the right English on it. Easy roll up here for the 8 ball, and he's not going to let Urbana get the best of him today. He almost did, but he found a way to swing back on the final rack, avoids the defeat, and it looks like he's going to be the A-side winner, as long as he makes his 8 ball anyway. Which he does. 7-5, the final score. And now, you know, this is an argument, okay? So if it would have been an 8-4 race, technically Urbanic would have won. But 7-5, do you still think it should have been 8-4, or should it have been maybe like 7-4? Right? I feel like 7-4 might have been a little bit more fair. All right, so now we're going to move into the B-side final, and this is going to be a showdown between Cornell McLean Jr. and Richard Urbanic, I believe. I got to look at the draw because maybe I'm wrong. Okay, let's take a look at that shot, though, while I'm doing that real quick. You have to hit that perfectly. Look at that. Just past the 8 ball, man. Absolute perfection. What a shot. Nice shot, says Marty. Stephen Roberts says, I beat people every week I'm not supposed to, Rod, in league play, and I'm a 420-ish. And most in league play are well over 550 to 620. I battle for every ball and every win, and I play lots of safeties. Well, that's smart, right? So you're making yourself come up to that level, basically. You're balancing things out by playing smart at the end, right? All right, so it's going to be Richard. This is a B-side final now. We'll put, well, we'll just keep Richard on the right. Oops. We'll put Junior on the left. And this should be a 6-5 race, I believe. Oh, wait. I think it's a 6-5 race, yeah. Cornell. And this guy came on the TV table earlier and was playing some amazing pool, man. Making crazy shots right off the hop. Got a feeling he's going to bring some more of that stuff here on this match. I may be quiet while I'm enjoying this matchup. All right, so it's been set up. Junior will break the first rack. Scoreboard has been updated. Whew, what a day of pool, man. You guys think this could be considered the highlight of the day? I felt like it was really pretty, man. I really did. I feel like it's worth it. You guys tell me. I'm going to keep this one here. I'm going to load up Junior's shot from earlier, and you guys can tell me which one was better. This was nice. That was so beautiful, man. The finesse touch, the response to the cue ball, everything was perfect. Stephen Roberts says, I haven't fared well in tournaments. It's different, though. You know, league play and tournament play is a little bit different because league play, usually, I don't know about you guys, but for us, usually it's one game every so often, right? You got to play one match against each opponent from the other team, one rack, right? And so you don't play as often as when you're doing tournament play, you're having races against people, right? So it's different. Now you have to deal with more all the time. And league, you don't feel as much pressure unless you're going for a stat. But other than that, you don't really feel a whole lot of pressure because it's just league, right? Or if your team is playing for first, maybe in that situation you might feel some pressure, right? But in tournament play, you feel pressure a lot all the time, especially in races, right? Like you feel the ups and downs of what happens with the game as you compete and you come up short or you make the shots. So it's a totally different vibe, man. But I'll tell you right now, Steven, the more you play in tournaments, the more you're going to get used to competing. And before you know it, you're going to start winning those. Steven says, in league play, I only have to win one game. In tourneys, there's a race to whatever. That's right. It's totally different. Jeffrey Engel says, should be Hill now. That was a great match. It really was. BJ says, so Jason goes to 16 and you go to 8, Rod, for 2,000. Someone will bet on Jason and some will bet on you. That's how you know it's fair, that people will bet $500 on the other guy. And at 16 to 8, it's a toss-up between you and Jason. Yeah, I get what you're saying. That's why I'm going to use the system, man. That's why I'm going to do it, right? I want to see. I want to get a feel for it. I want players to get a feel for it. And then, you know, maybe I'll change pool for the better here. All I ever wanted to do for pool, in my opinion, was to help grow it in a positive direction, right? And fairness in the pool community, as far as fair play goes, is like the number one thing that I would like to accomplish, right? I would like to see the game flourish and grow, not be held back by separation. So yeah, we're gonna try it out, man. Billy Thompson, how you doing? Great shot, says Calvin. Yeah, that was a beautiful shot. And Stephen Roberts says, I think he double hit it. So you knew. I didn't see it, but you seen it, man. Good for you. Handicap entry is terrible because a 400 Fargo has no chance to win a match against a 600. Yes, that's right. So the handicap entry is not about fairness, but what it is about giving lower level players a chance to be able to play in tournaments that they normally wouldn't play for a lower cost, right? And in return, you're not going to get a fair match, but you're going to be able to measure yourself and have an opportunity to measure yourself against better players so you can understand where it is you need to grow. Opportunities that you normally wouldn't get. Okay, so let's put it this way. Let's say you're like a lower level player that only plays lower level tournaments and under, right? I don't know what's going on. He's just practicing. They're just talking. So let's say you're playing those lower tournaments all the time. You don't ever play in the higher ones. Well, guess what? You're never going to get any better because you don't know exactly how you measure up against the best. You don't want to play against the best because you're afraid to play them. So how are you ever going to improve? So having these little handicap entry tournaments actually do help in a sense because it allows the player to expose themselves to tougher conditions where they can really see where they're at and where they need to be, or they can see where they're at and how they can grow to get to where these guys are at, right? So I think it kind of helps. You know, there's got to be a little bit of everything when it comes to tournaments in a city. You can't have one strict system for tournaments and have that for all the tournaments in the city from every organizer. I don't think that will work. But variety is good. You know, it opens different ways for people to deal with pressure and to kind of grow into their own game. Desiree Church says, that was a clean shot, wasn't it? I thought it was too. But no, it wasn't. That was a beautiful shot, though, man. Johnny Joe says, that was a Shane Van Boning shot. Yeah, that was a beautiful shot, honestly. Gene says, he stopped the cue with his stick. Ah, I see. Double hit, says Steven. Gene says, I thought something sounded weird. I definitely heard it. Yeah, it did sound kind of weird. Now that you guys say, like, I recall that weird sound. You're right. It looked good on the stream. It did. I mean, when you look at the replay, it just looked clean, right, Calvin? School's in session, he says. Calvin says, great game, boys. Congratulations, Richard. Played well. He really did. I think Junior took the first game, right? I'm kind of behind right now. I'm trying to catch up. I think he took the first game, though. BJ says, I set the match for you. Jason goes to 16 and you go to 8 for 2,000. You see people would bet both ways. Yeah, no, I get it, you know, because nobody would want, like, if me and Jason Klatt went even, nobody's going to bet on me. No way, right? But that's where the Vegas odds come in. So if I was to go play in, like, a Vegas odd tournament and I went and played against him and I played him even, I won, the odds would be huge on the payout for me to win. Gord Kerr says, Rod, Fargo rate figures it should be a 7-3 race if you were playing Jason Klatt. Well, that's what it was. That's what we played. But I beat him 3-4. Timothy Bone says, why do active let players go up and down? Stat master, I think, if you're a master for life. Yeah, well, that's the thing. Usually, like, if you become a master level player and you go and compete, let's say you went out to Vegas and you won the whole event in Vegas, right, for the VNEA, and then you come back and you play for a while and you don't do so good. So 2-3 years later, they decide, you know what, we're going to drop you down a little bit because, you know, you haven't done much for yourself in a while. You're right. They shouldn't. Like, once you get to that master level, you should be master for life. You're right. That's something that's kind of weird, too. And it's not just active. I think other organizations do it, too. Active pretty much tries to do the best that they can with their system, right? They try to, you know, kind of create something fair, try to do something that works for everyone so that people will go and play in the leagues and support their active league, right? So they do the best that they can, but there's some things that are kind of weird like that when Masters gets dropped down. There's guys that, you know, were like the best players when I grew up and now they're playing on the lower levels than me. It's kind of weird. Gene says, I love tournaments. Yeah, I love tournaments too. Honestly, I miss playing tournaments. I miss playing altogether right now because I've been playing it so long, but I miss tournament play. A couple of years ago when I was a little bit healthier, I was playing tournaments every week. I'd be playing this tournament right now. There might have even been a chance that it would have been me at the table right now. You know, I was playing pretty good back then too. I love tournament play. Stephen Valley says we play a 3 and is out tournament. Does not matter what your average is. You only have to win one time against your opponent. It is kind of like a chip player rotation. Rotation is random who you play. I like that. It's not too bad. I mean, there's so many different creative formulas out there for tournaments that people try to create, right? And I like that. You know, some people get really creative with their tournaments. No shape, says Richard. See, I told you, man. He's not trying to shark people out, but he just jokes around with them. You know, it's kind of like that old school Moscone style play. You know, Willie Moscone. There's a video. Who is it? I want to say it's Minnesota Fats and Willie Moscone. I think it was them two. They were like, they had a match. It was an exhibition match. And you can see then about, like, it was, I think that was like the 80s when that happened. But you can see there in that YouTube video that, you know, these guys start razzing each other and talking. And then you got him like walking around talking to the crowd, you know, kind of like showboating with his mouth kind of thing, right? And it's different. Like I said, you may not appreciate those kind of things nowadays, but when you look at the history of the game, you understand how things went the way they went. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, says Steven. And Beecher says, this should be a 7-4 for sure. Steven says, I win 80%, 85% of league matches with safeties. You really can, because you're forcing people, right? Chris says, walk with a lame, you'll develop a limp. That's right. That's right, man. You have to push yourself. So if you're a lower level player that's, you know, been sheltering yourself from playing in bigger tournaments, I'm not telling you to go out there, you know, and go enter these like $100 tournaments, $150 tournaments against the best players in your city. But I am saying that if you can get a chance, even if it's just like once every couple of months, you know, just do it for yourself, man. Give yourself a chance. Go play in a higher level tournament, right? Find a weekly tournament that's, you know, affordable, $20 to $40, whatever is comfort zone, right? And just try it, you know, once a month, you know, then eventually try it twice a month. And then you'll see, like, the more you get accustomed to playing against these higher level players, the more you're going to get used to competing against them, which is going to help you. The more confidence you're going to gain from it. You're going to learn more also because you're going to have people around you playing the game the right way. So that's going to really help a lot, right? There's so much that you can gain from playing tournaments against other players that are higher caliber. Don't shelter yourself to the lower level tournaments only. You're not going to advance. You could always have fun there. You can always feel safe there. But, you know, as far as your competition level goes, it's going to kind of come to a standstill if you don't try to get yourself out of comfortable situations and putting yourself into uncomfortable situations where you can really grow. It's the only way to grow in the game, honestly. Gore Kerr says, Fargo Ray says Junior should have to win 7-5 against Richard. Junior's $6.99, Richard's $5.99. So it's a 100-point difference. Yeah, but based on BJ's charter system, it should be about 7-5, 7-4. 7-4 would likely be maybe a little bit too much. I think 7-5 will be okay. But we'll find out, right? We'll see how this match goes. This match will tell us. Make some quick work out of that rack. Stephen Valley says the good thing is with your tournaments, everybody knows pretty much what the race is going to be before they play. Yeah, and so that makes it nice too, right? Because there's another thing is the shock factor. If you're doing hot Fargo where you're like flipping the scores, like the races in between matches according to how your levels are and all that kind of stuff, you know, you might get shocked, right? So I might go up and play against somebody and be like, okay, the race was 6-6, right? So I was good. Then I go play the next guy and it's like, yeah, so you're going 7-2. You're like, what, 7-2? Right? Like, why am I playing higher? And why is he only going to 2? Right? Like, that could maybe shock you and kind of rattle you off your game a little bit too. But I think the more people play in that system, the more you get used to it. It wouldn't be that much of a shock. It's just maybe every now and then. But we're going to try it out, BJ. We're going to see how it rolls, man. JB Roberts says, hi, guys. Followage. Right on, man. Welcome to the stream. Donald wants to know how many pool tables at the pool hall. We have 10 3.5 by 7 diamonds, 4 Valley coin-ops, and 2 9-foot diamonds. I think they're Bigfoot diamonds, but everybody says they're 4.5 by 9, but I feel like they're 5 by 10. And I play on snooker tables, so I know what a 6 by 12 is. So realistically, I feel like it's close to a 5 by 10, but, I might be wrong. For me, when I play on it, it still feels like an 8-foot table because, I'm used to playing on bigger tables, right? Moscone hated fats, LOL, says Stephen Roberts. I know it. You got to go back. Go find the match. Go find the match on YouTube when you get a chance, and you'll see Moscone and Minnesota Fats, man. They talk so much garbage when they're playing. It was crazy the stuff they would say. And that was like the norm. That was the norm. BJ Fox says they don't let Vegas Masters come down. Don't mistake that for a Canadian Master that you get in a top 8 on a team in Edmonton in the advanced division. No, but I think they're saying there's guys that will get bumped up to Premier. They'll play Premier for a couple of years and then they'll go back down and play Super Vegas 1, or maybe they'll play Premier for a couple of years, not play for a couple of years, and then they come back and they end up playing in Vegas because they've been off for a while and they didn't do very good in Premier. Right, so that's what he means, like something like that. It's not something that happens all the time, but it has happened a couple of times, and it is what it is. Johnny Joe says, I chalk those as a lesson. Steven says, so many league players have a hero mentality, in my opinion. Yeah, and I think it's because league is really there isn't a whole lot of pressure when it comes to league play. You're just going through a rack, and if you win or lose, it matters to you personally maybe, but to your team, not as much. And to the season, it doesn't matter. Especially like for us, we got 28-week season. So like when you go out there, it doesn't really matter. Every week is like whatever. We all just the only thing we want to do is get to the playoffs and get rolling for the money, man. And that's when it really counts. So another thing you see too because of that is that people might kind of manipulate the handicap system by not doing their best throughout the whole year, right? So they play like trash throughout the whole year because they don't care, not focused, it doesn't matter, right? And then playoff time when they're playing for the money, they're not missing anything because they're trained, they're ready to go, they practice for a month, right? And they're the best player that they can be. So and then what happens is those guys will end up, they'll end up staying down because their team may not win the whole thing. They may finish and say like 4th, 5th, or 6th, so now their team doesn't get bumped up, right? So the next year they play again, they'll have another crappy year, but come the playoffs, that guy once again will be your best player because you know how good he really is, right? So that's what I'm saying. It's kind of weird, but I think, I don't know, it's without league, you can't really enjoy pool the same way. League, I think, in my opinion, especially here for the active pool league, it opens up the doors for so many more players to come in and play. But I wish there was more players from league that played in tournaments because I think then I think the community would get a little bit more fuller, right? It would be more complete. I don't think full is a word, but it'd be more complete. Gorker says, oh, hang on. Steven says they try every time to run out, and I don't do it if it's there, of course. Oh, I do if it's there, of course. Okay, I got you. Gorker says Minnesota Fats played Willie Moscone Valentine's Day 1978, and it was Minnesota Fats who did the majority of the yapping. That's right. It was a great match, though. I don't know. It adds a little bit of, it gives you kind of that history. I feel for the history of the game, I think. Timothy Bone says, I think if they lift the ranking system alone, it takes out the sandbagging. The people sitting in the driver's seat of our leagues need to start getting more sponsored no matter how big the league is. I think, they're trying to do adjustments. So what I heard what they're trying to do for next year maybe is they're trying to apply the Fargo rate for the Premier level, right? So now they can cap the Premier teams by Fargo rate. So that's going to change a little bit of things in the top level. And I'll tell you how that helps because there's a lot of guys that are in the second highest level, which is Super Vegas. They'll move up to Premier. They'll try to play a year. They get slaughtered by these crazy teams that are up there, and then they quit playing because they're like, they're not going to get bumped down. They can't play as good, and they don't want to waste their money, right? But now with having a Fargo rated cap for teams, that prevents some of these monster teams from being put together because their Fargo rate will just be too high. So now that's going to create an opportunity for the lower level players to be able to come into a competitive atmosphere where they will maybe have a chance to compete, thus building up the higher levels of pool here in Manitoba, which is good, right? And the reason why I say it's good, because the more higher level players that we got playing, say in premier level, the better the opportunities that we're going to get of some of those players eventually becoming professionals. And professional players in your city is a good thing. That's a bonus. If you got players that are pro level in your city, you know, that's something to be respected, in my opinion. Beecher says, you see, Junior should have not made that shot and deserves to lose this game because he didn't focus on, and he missed a shot that he makes 90% of the time. Gord is right, 7-4, 8-4 is the spot. Donald says, cool. I used to work at a pool hall, 39-foot tables and 2 10-foot. Wow. Now that's a pool hall, man. 39 foots. I don't think I'd ever go home. I'd be streaming 24 hours, man, like running the stream in my sleep. I would never go home. That's awesome, man. 3 cushion tables too. Oh man. And 1 10-foot snooker table. Yeah, that's well, in the States they have a lot of great pool halls like that too, right? I need to go to New York. I got to go to Carom Billiards, or Carom Room, I think they call it, the Carom Room. Ira Lee, one of the developers from Predator Light System, he has a pool hall out there in New York, and they have a kind of setup like that. They got lots of carom tables there, though. I haven't had a chance to play carom, but I love watching carom. I think it's one of the most elegant forms of, or one of the most elegant disciplines in billiards. I think the most competitive and the one that I appreciate the most is snooker, but I really love the art behind carom billiards, especially when they do, you know, they got to go 3 cushions, right? And there's also the other one in, is it Taiwan, where they have that different carom billiards game? I can't remember what it's called now. I'm not going to repeat what you said, BJ, but that's funny. I should actually remove your comment, man, because it's kind of like not good, but you're funny. Steven says, it seems they also played an 85 or 6, and Fats also jibber jab Mosconi then, too. And they say Mosconi hated Fats a lot. Yeah, I think that was more egotistical stuff, though, right? Like, they were like the best players back then, and there's always kind of that stuff, right? Pool player is like an individual sport where, you know, the best you are, the more you kind of promote how good you are, type thing, right? And oh, he's not going to make that shot. That's going to give Junior the shot on this table. Excuse me. And the crowd also says Stephen Roberts. Stephen Valley says the more leagues that report to Fargo, the better Fargo gets, the more consistent it gets, and the better the races get because everybody is reporting. Correct. And there was something about that, too. Somebody messaged me the other day to ask me, you know, like, what's going on with the Fargo rate? I come there to play tournaments. I want to get a Fargo rate. I'm not getting my weeks, blah, blah, blah. So, and that reminds me, I got to go take a look at that today, see if I can finish that tournament and make sure that that rate goes through. But you're right. So some places, you know, they don't even put in the Fargo rate in the end. You know, they may use challenge, but they don't finish the tournament, so the stats don't go through, which affects overall how the system works, right? It's not impossible to manipulate the Fargo rate system, though. You can manipulate it, especially when you're early into your robustness. Feeling kind of weird here. Another cough. Stephen Roberts says, my Wednesday night league, you miss, you don't get back to the table either. Yeah, and that's, well, that'll put some pressure on you, man. BJ Fox as well. That's interesting for the Premier League. I might get a call now. Yeah, no, I just heard it's rumors down the grapevine, right? So I'm not sure 100%, but that's what I was told. And if that's the case, I think it's going to do better for the Premier League. I think it's going to grow more, which in the end helps pool grow more too. Donald says it helps you learn the angles. Oh, you're talking about Karam? Yeah, man. It helps you learn the angles and how to use the rails and how to use the spins. It's really good for your game. Steinway's in NYC had Brunswick 10s. Nice. I never really played much on 10-footers, though. I usually play on the 12-foot. If I'm going to play snooker, I go all the way, man. You know, I want the full experience. 10-footer makes me feel like I'm cheating. Oh, but they're gone now. That's too bad. And Gene says back during that time, the 70s, the players wore suits. Correct, yeah. Pretty fancy, right? And I mean, this is a time when people used to think that pool was for hustlers and drug dealers and that kind of stuff too, right? And pool was frowned upon because of the gambling and all that stuff. But meanwhile, these guys all dressed up in, you know, suits and ties, and they look sharp out there when they played, man. I'm telling you that the culture of pool, when you look at the history of pool from the early days, it was truly beautiful. I think that's the reason, you know, why I love this so much more, right? Is I'm connected to some of that stuff too, right from the very beginning of pool, right? And I watched videos, I read books, I paid attention to this game and learned as much as I could about the history. And there's so much beautiful stuff that you can learn from the history of the game and the players that were around from its beginning. Just a beautiful game altogether, man. Norm Doucette says, yeah, except for some players sandbag so their Fargo doesn't go up, and that's unfortunate. Yeah, so that's what I mean. You can manipulate the system, right? And I can tell you how, but that's not cool, so I won't. But you could, right? I'm not like that, you know. You can see now. I don't know what my Fargo rate is. I thought it was like 589, but it might be 581 or something like that. But I was down. I started at 525. I got to 560. He's gonna give him that one. I continued to 560, and then from there, you know, I stumbled down. I think the lowest I got to was like a 520 again. It might have been lower than that. But then whatever, you know, I could have sandbagged and used it as an advantage. So I could have, you know, had like big robustness with really, really, really crappy Fargo rate. That would have made me like a solid pickup for many teams, right? But I couldn't do it. And I think it just comes down to the player. For me, instead, I ended up trying my best to play my best. And then every tournament I played, I just tried my best to play better because I wanted my Fargo rate to go up, right? I finished with whatever. I got to check what it is. I think it was like 589, but it might have been 581. Okay, 585, yeah. Thanks, Gord. You know, so I did my improvements, right? It may not seem like much, but, you know, when you go from I think when I started it was like 520 something, and then, you know, to get back up to a 580, that's a good improvement for only a few months. And I already had like a decent robustness, not a huge robustness, but I had a decent one. Oh, it's 5-0. Sorry, I missed the score there. I forgot that earlier he didn't upgrade his score, and I was waiting to see if he was going to update it or not. But it's 5-0 right now, so Junior's on the hill, and he's playing for the match right now. I got caught up in conversation. I usually don't. I mean, I engage with the viewers a lot, but today has been preach what you can, boy. I've been preaching all over, man. It's either going to make me famous or people are going to stop watching me. One or the other. And that's it, man. Quick. 6-0. Okay, so what was the spot? You said it would have been 7-4, and then BJ said it would have been 8-4, right? No, sorry, yeah, 7-4 and 8-4. 8-4 would have been, yeah, I think fair. But even then, Junior would have beat him, you know, maybe 8-1, 8-2. I don't know what happened, man. They shouldn't let guys like that in the tournament.
He ran out every single of his breaks,
Yeah.
and I never ran any of mine up, so there you go.
Are you guys splitting? Yeah. You guys are splitting, yeah? Good shooting, man. Both of you guys. Yeah, so they're just going to split. So, wow, it's 8:30. I'm done. Oh, my God. I should have brought my cues. Damn it. I might just grab a bar cue maybe and practice a little bit. I'm surprised I'm done already, man. It's crazy. Wow. Wow. All right, so I'm just being a clown now. Hang on. I got to find this shot. I got to show you this shot. And I feel like it's the highlight of the day today. It's going to go to, oh, I don't know. I got 2 days. I got to look at shots here, and I got to figure out which one's going to be the highlight of the day. But let's see. Properties. Give me a second. I'm trying to find the highlight here. Might take me a second. It would have been earlier in the day. I think it was like my second match. Let's see it. Okay, I think of this one. Yeah, it's this one. All right, so this is the one here. This is Junior. He's stuck to this 15. No pocket. He calls a cross bank corner. Oh, man, what a shot. All right, so there's that one, right? You guys tell me if that's shot number one. Is it shot number one, or is it going to be shot number two? Wait. I got to find it now. Shot number two. Shot number two happened just not too long ago here. Oh no, but that was a foul anyway. No, wait, I'm lying because that was Sean's shape shot to get onto that one ball. I think it was this one. I gotta double check though first. Yeah, this is the one. Okay. All right, so is it that shot from Junior, or is it this shot from Sean, which you guys should remember because it just happened a little while ago? This is the one from Sean. Shot number one, shot number two. Which one do you guys give it to? Let me know. Play your best game with Q Sports Live. I'll be waiting for you, man. The highlight reel will be waiting for you, too. All right, so, yeah, tell me. You guys tell me shot number one, shot number two. I will be right back. I'm going to, you know what, in the meantime, I'm going to play compilation number two one more time, you know, because some of you guys might have missed it. So that's only like a 2-minute reel. I'll be right back. I'm going to confirm something with these guys real quick before they leave.
Combination, what a guy shot that was.
Oh my goodness, it went.
What's that?
What's that? What'd you say?
What? I'm trying to run into that 6 ball intentionally, cutting this ball into the corner. 6 will double kiss that cue ball, sending it back down like that. Beautiful shot. Nudge over from the 6 would help. Oh, what a shot. I don't think you can cut this straight in there. Look at this shot. Get in there. What a shot.
All right, so that was compilation number 2, and so I'm going to see what you guys said right away. I just need to ask them a couple of questions because these guys are supposed to be playing in the Manitoba Masters next week, so I wanted to confirm that they're still playing, and they are playing, so right on. Gene says, plus, I believe if you really learn pool, you learn to apply the discipline in your everyday life. It has for me anyway. I've learned to take my time in making decisions, be patient, be determined to focus better. 100%, Gene. And you know what? When I discovered that when I was at the practice table, that's what changed my life forever and made me who I am today. Right there, what you just said. So I second that. Marty says, I was looking forward to a set with duels too. Yeah, it's too bad, man. But you know, you guys might get a chance to watch those guys play next weekend at the Manitoba Masters 8-ball against each other. You never know. Kathy says, nice stream, Rod. Thanks. LJ says, great coverage as always. Thank you, LJ. No more pool, no bueno, says Stephen Roberts. I know. Enjoyable as usual, says Lindy Lou. Appreciate it. That was a nice shot, says Donald. All right, so tell me, what shot was it? Shot number 1, says Donald. Dan says, Junior's shot was good, but he never got shape. Yeah, you're right. Stephen Valley says 1. Stephen Roberts says 1. Ricky says 2. Junior shot for sure, says Nick. And, well, have a good night, Rod. Till next time, says Donald. Darren Mayo say 1. So it looks like it's going to go to Junior. Everyone is leaning towards Junior's way. I really like Sean, so we'll leave Sean's as runner-up for this day, and so his shot will appear at the highlight of the day compilation number 1 next year, at the end of next year. Right on, guys. So that's going to be it for now, and well, let's see the last highlight. I don't know if I even have the last highlight. Well, I'm not going to do it because it's probably not there. Well, I'll try it. Okay, so it is there. That was the last highlight of the day. Let you think about that for a second on your decision. Woo! All right, that's it, guys. And the usual, if you guys end up ordering anything from jamofapparel.com, if you want to order anything from me, you can. If you want to ask questions about products, you can also message me, rod@jamofapparel.com. And don't forget, right now, if you guys are looking for team shirts, great deal. Use code CSI23. Buy 4 shirts, get the 5th one free. Unbelievable deal right now, and you're going to run out of time to get it done in time for the Western, so you make sure you get that order within the next week or 2 if you can. Talk to your team, tell them, bro, we got to do this. Let's go to johnbobapparel.com right now. Let's message Rod. Whatever you got to do, use the code CSI23. Get your shirts. You won't regret it, man. And the hanger, where is the hanger? Somewhere around here. There we are. 121 Scurfield Blvd is where we're at. If you guys ever come into Manitoba and into Winnipeg and you want to come check out the hangar, make sure to message me, Rod Arriagada. I'll come out here and meet you guys. I'll shoot some pool with you. I don't really drink, but if you drink, I might even have a drink with you, And if you don't drink, well, maybe we can just have a water together. Whatever the case. 121 Scurfield Blvd in the south end of town. If you want to call it ahead, you want to book a spot for you and your friends and your party, give them a shot at 204-560-2929. And I'm telling you, these guys will love to take care of you. And when you bring your friends out here, you're going to have a great time. You're not going to regret this either, man. 121 Scurfield Blvd, the Hangar, Billiards, and Sports Lounge. And myself, Rod Arriagada, if you guys ever want to message me, you want me to come out to your town and cover an event, I mean, you don't have to wait forever. You just message me now ahead of time. cslmanitoba@gmail.com is where you get a hold of me. And, I look forward to working with you. I look forward to representing your event and doing my best to make sure that people understand how much you love what you do, because that's what I try to do for you. And and if you feel like supporting my work, if you like to support my work, you can do so via PayPal or e-transfer. And the same thing, cslmanitoba@gmail.com. It's just above there. You can see it. Anything that goes my way, it'll be greatly appreciated for sure. And most of the stuff is going to be used for, trying to make a difference in this world. So if you want to support, I appreciate it. If not, you can always support me through subscribing to my YouTube channel, which, it's under Rod Arriagada /CSL Manitoba. You can look me up, find me, subscribe to my channel. If you look at the link here on the comment, it's pinned, or on the post, it's on there too. Follow the link, you can subscribe that way, no problem. I'm trying to get to 1,000. It's been making a little bit of headway, and I appreciate everyone that's supporting me, man. Honestly, your support goes a long way. Let's go to the pool wisdom. The more you sweat in practice, the less you'll bleed in battle. Get to those tables and become the champion within. When you decide to go out and play pool the next time, make sure that it's for a purpose. Don't go out there and just bang balls because you can. You know, try to focus, try to get that win. Put in a real effort every time. Even if you lose, it's okay. If you put in a real effort every single time you're at the table and you come up short, you're going to feel good about yourself because you know you did everything you could. And the more you try to be that way, the quicker you're going to become the champion within. I'll be waiting for you. And that's going to be it for now. If you guys want to add me or follow me on Facebook, you can do so. My name is Rod Arriagada. If you want me to come out to your town, like I said, cslmanitoba@gmail.com. That's where you get a hold of me. You can message me on Facebook too if you add me, you know, and that's not a problem. If you've never been to our Facebook page, this is the first time you checked us out on Facebook, make sure you guys like and follow our page. You're going to get notified every single time that we go live. And everybody's been going live lately, not just me. The guys in Calgary too, they're up and going, man. So, you know, we're going to have lots of events coming up for you guys. There's lots of big events coming up this year too that you're not going to want to miss. Make sure you subscribe to our Facebook channel. And if you can, like I said, support me on YouTube individually. That would be awesome too. Looking for 1,000 subscribers, and every little bit helps. So, I got a message. No worries. No, I don't know if you're watching me right now, Tyrone, but no worries, man. You just take care of it when you can. We're good. That's going to be it for now, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. It's been a pleasure. I will see you guys at the tables next time, and that should be next Saturday for the Manitoba Masters 8-Ball. It's going to be a really crazy tournament, man. Make sure that you guys book time off from whatever you got to do next weekend because you don't want to miss any of these matches. Every match that's on the TV table is going to be a crazy match. Every single one of them. Lots of highlights. I'm going to be nuts. Most of the highlights are going to be safeties, though, but don't worry about it. You're going to enjoy every one of them, too. I promise. All right, guys, that's going to be it for now. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, thank you for liking and sharing and for watching the stream. You guys are awesome for interacting as well. Have a good night, everyone. We'll see you guys next time. Cheers.